Hello, I'm Tylah Tully, and today I'm joined by Andromeda Metals acting CEO Sarah Clarke. Sarah, before we get into your exciting news, can you give our viewers an overview of the Great White Project?
Yeah, sure, Tyler. Thanks for having me today. It's great to be here. We have our Great White project. It is a Tier 1 kaolin asset located in the low-risk mining jurisdiction of South Australia over on the Eyre Peninsula. We're taking a staged approach to the development of this project. We're starting with Stage 1A+, which is for 100,000 tonnes of production per annum of kaolin product. And the markets that we are targeting initially are the high-end ceramics market. So you think your large format porcelain tiles, high-end porcelain tableware, as well as the concrete industry. So we have a product that can be used to assist in the decarbonisation of concrete, which is really exciting. We have done a lot of work to significantly de-risk this project. We've got all of our key approvals in place to commence construction. We've done our feasibility studies. They demonstrate that we have really strong project economics over a 28-year mine life. We've got our long lead time items of equipment that have been fabricated in storage awaiting shipment to site. We've got our experienced and very committed project team in place, ready to go. And importantly, we've got our offtake agreements in place. So we have binding offtake agreements that broadly match our ramp up. So by the time we hit year 3, we have 100,000 tonnes of product under binding offtake agreements. So we've really got this project investment ready. We are running a funding process at the moment. We're seeking the capital required to develop the project. Our CapEx for Stage 1A Plus is 84 million. That's a relatively low CapEx hurdle, mainly owing to the free dig nature of the mining. Once we get down to the kaolin, we just send an excavator in and dig it up. We also have a low strip ratio. And in terms of processing, it's a hydromechanical separation, separating sand from the kaolin. In addition to that CapEx, we also need some funding for working capital, funding costs and cash reserves.
And of course, the exciting news is that Andromeda has received credit approval from Merricks Capital. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. This is very exciting news. So under that funding process I just mentioned, we've been in exclusive negotiations for a debt project financing facility with Merricks Capital. Merricks Capital is a leading Australian alternatives investment manager and hard asset investment specialist. They've managed over $8 billion in global investments since their inception in 2007. And so yesterday we announced that Merricks Capital had confirmed that we'd received credit approval for a debt facility of $75 million to support the development of our Great White project. That is fantastic news. That $75 million includes principal, capitalised interest and fees, cash reserving requirements and a cost overrun tranche. And we also have a maturity date of 78 months from financial close on that one. So that credit approval process follows a period of extensive due diligence on our project. So that covers the technical side of things, financial, legal, so all of our material contracts, including the offtake agreements that I mentioned, the market, so the kaolin market itself, environment and social aspects of the project as well. So receiving that credit approval from Merricks is a really strong endorsement, not just of the project's quality, but also of our team's expertise and commitment in delivering this investment-ready project. It really represents a significant step forward in our funding process, and it is very exciting news.
So when do you expect a debt agreement to be signed, and where are you in the overall funding process for Great White?
Yeah, sure. So we are in the process of negotiating that binding financing facility documentation with Merricks Capital. That will cover all the conditions of the facility, including the interest rates, fees, security package, and all the other key terms. And we're also anticipating that that facility will be subject to customary conditions precedent for a facility of that nature, including us securing the necessary balance of funding to support that final investment decision. So in parallel with that work, we're also progressing options for that balance of funding and working very hard on that side of things as well.
If you get this funding, are you ready to go?
Absolutely. If we get all the funding required to support the final investment decision, we are really ready to hit the ground running. As I mentioned earlier, we've got our mining leases in place, our key approvals in place. Our team has been extremely busy, not just on the due diligence side of things, but also with a lot of operational planning and project readiness activities.
And more recently, investors were impressed by your exceptional results producing HBA from kaolin produced from the Great White Project. What can you share there?
Yes, this was another really exciting piece of news that we put out recently. We've done some lab scale test work results on our novel flow sheet for producing high purity alumina, or HPA. HPA is a critical mineral. It's part of future-facing industries. There's growing demand in established markets for things like synthetic sapphire glass, LEDs, semiconductors, wearable tech, lithium-ion batteries, and high-tech ceramics. So demand for HPA is predicted to outstrip global supply by 45% in 2028. So this is a really interesting market for us to be looking at the moment. And using our high-quality kaolin product from the Great White Project, we were able to produce HPA to above 99.99% purity. That's a 4N HPA. But in fact, when we sent our sample off for independent analysis by EAG Eurofins in the United States, who are a specialist in the low detection limits, they confirmed that our HPA sample was actually 99.9985% pure. That is an outstanding result. We also had that independently confirmed by analysis conducted by Australia's CSIRO. And importantly, that successful lab-scale test work also indicated that our novel process is significantly more cost and carbon effective than other reported processes. So it's a really exciting development there. And following these results, the team's busy working on a scoping study at the moment. So that's looking at the business opportunity and the potential value of this project for our company. So whilst our priority does remain the development of the Great White Project, this is really exciting potential upside here, a new opportunity for another market for our high quality kaolin, and it is something that we are fielding a lot of interest from at the moment as well.
Finally, while we have you, Sarah, is there anything else that you want to mention?
Yeah, look, if I can give you some key takeaways regarding Andromeda Metals and the Great White Project, is this is an investment-ready project. We are ready to go. We have got all our key approvals in place, our mining lease, our PEPR. We're ready to commence construction. We've got our binding offtakes. We have our project team ready to go. We've been undertaking this financing process. We've received credit approval from Merricks after a really extensive due diligence process. So that's a big tick of approval there. And, we are really focused on getting this funding and getting this project into development. And in addition to that, we've got some really exciting potential upside there with other products under development like our HPA project.
Well, it definitely sounds like exciting times ahead for the company. Sarah, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks, Tyler.